It's fall in the Pacific Northwest, and guess what time of year it is? It's time to forage for those delightful chanterelle mushrooms. Now, I didn't forage for these chanterelles, but I'm pretty excited to have them. And mushrooms are the focus of this episode, just not the chanterelles. There's two other mushrooms you can take that can help reduce that knot in your throat. And if you have it, you already know it's tough to get rid of. And it takes more than one solution. So I've got another solution for you. Two mushrooms, how to take them, why they work, and where you can get them.
Hi, I'm Kim with Best Acupuncture. I'm a licensed and practicing Chinese medical provider focused on making Chinese medicine more accessible to you and helping you to help yourself so you can help the world. Hey, if this is your first time here on the channel, consider hitting the subscribe button down below and the bell up above so you don't miss any future episodes.
Remember my episode on DIY solutions for Globus Hystericus? I went into a lot of reasons why Globus Hystericus is so challenging to get rid of. And, the biggest thing is hypervigilance, chronic stress, chronically being overwhelmed, inability to express yourself, and, just being exhausted. Well, let me tell you, I used to have this when I was younger, but it wasn't constant. I was able to get over it. And what happened is when I became a caregiver, just the overwhelming stress that can come with being a caregiver. It's such a different vibe than, say, raising kids. There's just really this different flavor to caregiving. And a lot of times that flavor is the inability to make things better. A lot of times being a caregiver is about helping people come to the end of their lives. And that's just a totally different vibe than, say, raising kids because it doesn't get better. Your best day as a caregiver is going to be today.
I've been asking a lot of caregivers this month, what one piece of advice would you give somebody just starting out on their caregiving journey? Well, we all thought we had one and we'd spit it out and then we'd go, oh, it doesn't really work that way.
So, caregiving can be incredibly stressful. And why I even bring it up is because November is National Family Caregivers Month. So, a big shout out to all the caregivers out there. The only thing I know for sure is that caregiving is a selfless act of love.
Well, for me, it was caregiving that really solidified my Globus Hystericus. And my Globus Hystericus became constant and chronic. Finally, I was able to do something perfectly. And if you're like me, a recovering perfectionist, it can be disturbingly rewarding to be able to do something so perfectly you can't get rid of it.
So, there's a lot of Chinese herbal formulas that you can use to recover from Globus Hystericus. But the problem with that solution is you have to get the formula that's right for you. So, Chinese medicine is really about the individual sitting in front of you. So, the formula, it might be for Globus Hystericus, and you might have that lump in your throat, but you might have that lump for a totally different reason. So, just grabbing a Chinese formula because it says Globus Hystericus can actually make your problem worse. Okay, so why is that? The episode, The Dao of Herbs, actually goes into some of the esoteric philosophy of Chinese herbs.
Chinese medicinal herbs will do things like, put something back in your body or drain out something that's too full to help put you back in balance. And that's going to be a little bit different than Western medicine, which is more focused on turning something on or off to force your body to work in a different way.
Turning things on and off can put you more out of balance. And you know that because you end up with side effects and more medications. Yeah, taking the Chinese medicine route isn't always easy. And in the episode When Love and Health Don't Mix, I talk about some of the complexities of getting healthy.
But back to Globus Hystericus, because at the end of the day, it's about you rebuilding your health, right? Because Globus Hystericus starts out with you being chronically tired, chronically exhausted, or chronically not being able to express yourself.
So for Globus hystericus, if you got a formula that worked, that formula's rebuilding you. So you're not going to take it forever. And as you get stronger, you're going to graduate to a different formula to help rebuild your new stage of health. So staying on this formula after you rebuilt that stage of health is actually going to start tipping you in the wrong direction. It's almost like rebuilding a wall of your house over and over again. The rest of the house isn't getting built because you need different materials. Even though I'm a Chinese herbalist, I don't do a lot of Chinese herbal formulas on the channel because, after what I just said, the thing is, what's the point? There's a big chance that whatever formula I'm talking about is going to be the wrong one for you. And yeah, formulas are super helpful and can be surprisingly quick acting. I get wanting to try Chinese formulas for your specific situation, and a great way to do that is reach out to a Chinese medical provider and make an appointment that will deliver information targeted to you. And guess what? Some providers are even offering teleappointments. So you don't even have to leave your couch. Anyways, you can imagine I was pretty excited when I found two mushrooms that you can use long term. And in fact, they're supposed to be used long term, which means they're generally safe for most people, unless you have something like a mushroom allergy or something like that. But now you know how unusual it is to be able to find something that is effective and generally safe without pushing you too far one way or the other. Okay, so what are the two mushrooms? Well, the first one's going to be reishi or Ganoderma or lingshi, and the second one's going to be the puffball or the calvatia or mabo. So, what's really different and unique about these? These two mushrooms are in Chinese medicine. Chanterelles aren't. And because they are Chinese herbs, you can get medical grade herbs and quality makes a difference. So you might be wondering, where can you get medical grade herbs? Well, you can find them online. And if you're going to search for these, search for the Chinese name, either Lingshi or Mabo. And it might be a little bit pricey, but it's going to be the difference between working or not working. And I have tried the non medical grade herbs out there and I got no results. Now, in my episode, Overcome Post COVID Fatigue, I talked about something that's unique that's available in the United States. And that is, guess what? Wild crafted reishi mushrooms. They're still wild crafted reishi mushrooms. And here's the thing, anything wild is supposed to be the best quality. So, in fact, in my video, Grove of the Patriarchs, I actually stumble over some older reishi mushrooms. So, I thought, well, let's go out and look for some wild crafted mushrooms. And I found a number of suppliers on Etsy. So I picked one. And the one I chose was Appalachia Reishi. And so, hey, shout out to Appalachia Reishi. Thank you so much. The product was shipped out quickly. They did a great job of cutting and drying the reishi. It was wonderful. So here's the thing, the flavor was great. Now, what was a little bit different is it had a bit of a bitter taste that my medical grade herbs didn't have. And not that bitter's a bad thing. Bitter's actually a really good flavor. It's really good for your health. And hey, if you're working to improve your understanding of flavors, health benefits, and choosing foods to improve your specific health issues, from a Chinese dietetics perspective, guess what? In the next couple months, I'm going to have a training course on how you can understand foods from a Chinese dietetics perspective. And Both beginners and advanced students can take the course. And what's really unique is it brings back the ancient methods of identifying foods and their health properties, that have been forgotten. So, hey, keep an eye on my website for updates. You're going to make yourself a tea. And I want you to use dried herbs, not the powdered herbs or not tea pills. So in Chinese medicine, there's usually about three different types of ways that herbs are delivered. And it's going to be tea pills, granules, and granules are also considered powders, and dried herbs. And the order of strength is the tea pills are the least strong, granules or powders are the next, and dried herbs are your strongest. And so now you can see why I want you to use the dried herbs because, if you have Globus hystericus and they call it plum pit in Chinese medicine, you know that it's tough to get rid of. So let me show you Ma Bo because you're probably going to look at it and say, huh, not interested. This is Ma Bo. Attractive, huh? It's a puffball. The puffball is soft and it feels a little bit like crunchy paper with powdered sugar on it. And the powder can be messy and difficult to clean up. So I just grab this little puffball and throw it in the teapot and start cooking. And yeah, it looks weird, but it really works. And here's the reishi mushroom. And this is the red reishi mushroom. This one, it's really pretty. It has this woody look to it and it's crisp. It's easy to break. You're going to throw one puffball mushroom and 2 to 3 reishi pieces into your teapot and you're going to bring it to boil. Now, in my teapot, I can fit 4 cups of water in it. So I put in 4 cups, bring it to a boil, and as soon as it boils, I turn down the stove to simmer. And then I'm going to let the herbs simmer for a half hour. Now, here's one thing that you might not know about these herbs is, okay, so I've made my tea and I'm going to drink all 4 cups of it and the herbs are still there. Well, you can do that again another 2 times. You can put another 4 cups in that teapot, bring it to a boil, simmer it, drink that. You can do it one more time after that. So your dried herbs, you can cook them, you can recook them 3 times. There are 2 reasons why these mushrooms, and the first is because these mushrooms can be used for a long, long time, like the rest of your life, and they don't have toxicity problems. So they're really safe mushrooms. And then the second reason is their actions in the body. And in my last episode, I spent some time talking about mushrooms and some of the health benefit themes that run in mushrooms in the episode, Tired of Post-COVID Fatigue, How to Help Get Yourself Healthy. Well, some of those themes are relevant for Globus hystericus, like the healing and the strengthening of the lungs. That theme is relevant. Repairing and boosting your immune system is another theme. Increasing longevity is probably going to be one of the really important themes because part of the problem is you're exhausted, overwhelmed, and chronically tired. So anything you can do to give yourself back some life and immune support will be really, really helpful. Well, Ma Bo is great for plum pit because it helps relieve a hoarse voice or loss of voice, and it helps eliminate that swelling sensation in the throat that causes the discomfort, and it helps reduce clearing your throat or coughing. And reishi or lingsha helps strengthen your qi or your vital energy of the body, and it can help with that sensation of phlegm causing the knot in your throat, and it helps calm the emotions, for things like anxiety or nervousness. And here's the thing, you're going to be using these, and if you have a really dry knot, as it starts loosening up, you're going to start coughing up phlegm as it starts to loosen up and come out. So Don't think that's going against you. That's actually what you want it to do. Okay, so that is that. Thanks for coming out. And until next time, I'll catch you on the other side.